Yeah. Hey. Hey. I have had a long day. Oh my God. Things are happening. Do y'all know this girl right here? She's an Aries. She's an Aries. I'm trying to tell you this month it's this month is a reset. We're on the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. This month is a reset. There's a lot of reset happening. Hey, it's a lot of resets. It's a whole reset. It's a whole reset. I'm ecstatic. I don't, I'm trying to think, do I have anything else to say? I don't have much to say tonight, I just feel like let the countdown begin. Did y'all do y'all first day? I didn't see no tags. I didn't see no tags of people videos. Where y'all day one videos? Did y'all do it? Like, where's y'all videos at? Like, where y'all videos at? Everybody's supposed to be doing a day one diary. Ray, did you do yours? Let me go check your page, Ray. Let me go check your page right now, Ray. Okay. Ray posted, y'all. Let me go like everything. Hold on 1 second. He's very precise, okay? I know that's right, Ray. I know that's right, Ray. God is very precise. Hi, who is? Who is who? Who is who? Y'all, my skin looked flawless. Okay, my makeup was flawless. I looked so good. That's right. Above you. I looked flawless today, okay? I must give myself a pat on the back because the bitch was cold today. Like, the bitch was cold today, okay? Like, I had to give it to him one time. Like, just look at it. The girl killed it. The girl killed the look. The girl killed the look. Like, oh. No. Sometimes I just be looking at myself like, damn. Damn, little mama, why you ready to fall? I showed out today, honey. I showed out today. Like, I'm telling you, I had to give it to him today. I had to. I had to. I had to. I had to. It's October 1st. I'm going to try to give y'all looks. Well, let me let y'all know something. I am not an MUA. Okay, so, bitch, y'all going to get a little shink-da-dink and a vroom-da-vroom. But it won't get too extravagant over here, okay? But we going to give a little something. We going to give a little something every day. I'm going to do my makeup more. I'm going to put my lashes on more. Hey, I just want to be like a Barbie doll, you know? That's probably like one of the things that I've always said I was as a kid was a Barbie. Always. And I just feel like this energy, thank you so much. This energy, I just feel like... So look, okay, boom. I thought I didn't have no word, but let's talk. So, I've been out all day, okay? And, would you give up your social life for 18 months for success to live comfortable for many years to come? Did that. It wasn't 18 months just yet, but did that. Yeah, we did that already. We did that already. Yeah, thank you. We did that already. Gave that shit up. I was just telling my homegirl that yesterday. I was like, you know what's crazy? Is like, I've done a lot of growing. I've done a lot of investing. I've done a lot of healing. I've done a lot of reintroducing myself to things. But one thing I'm ready for my social life back. I wouldn't say it was tough, but I have a very like open personality. So like I just wanted to turn up by myself at certain points. But I mean, nah. Because having insight helped me. Like, if I didn't have insight, I would have been watching everybody else have fun. Like, oh, my God, I wish I could be out there. But due to the fact that I had insight to know that right now is not the time to be playing, it was okay. It was worth it. I'll say that. It was worth it. It was really worth it because I feel like I came out on the other side happier and healthier and, you know what I'm saying, smarter, more patient, more at peace. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. But I was out today looking like a bad bitch. And it was funny because when I came home, the power was out. And the power wasn't just out at my house. The power was out on the whole block. And I was like, So I told my homegirl, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get some stuff and I'm going to just come to your house or whatever because I don't know when the power be back on because I don't even know when the power went off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when the power went off. And as I'm driving or whatever, I get, I leave my neighborhood and I get on the highway. And as I'm driving, I'm just sitting there, I'm driving and I'm thinking, and I'm like, damn, I was like, damn, something about the power being out it felt so symbolic. And I was like, and power outages were going to be a theme because I told y'all it was going to be like, I remember channeling the city of Ember, like either earlier this year or like later last year. I channeled the city of Ember, which is the people that live underground with no power and they own a generator. So like power outages was going to happen. And Hood Healer also said that shit too. So that was like double confirmation for when I channeled the city of Ember. And I wasn't thinking about it at first. I was just like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It might have rained. Somebody might have hit the pole. I don't fucking know. And I don't fucking care. But it popped up in my head as I was driving. And as I was driving, as soon as I looked up and I thought about it, it was a car. And it said 555. And I was like, what are the big changes to come? Now, mind y'all, today, I haven't really seen many angel numbers today. Actually, I haven't seen any at all. But no, I take that back. I was driving, and once again, like thoughts were just flying in my head, and all of a sudden I looked at the clock and it said 818. Yesterday, I read that tweet that I had from people that used to see 717 and 818 about your ancestors having your back and that nobody was going to touch you. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah. So the number 818 had been popped up. The number 818 popped up, and I was like, okay. So somebody else told me that they had been seeing like 414, 616, 818. They were seeing all these numbers, right? And the live that I did earlier, I'm putting it on YouTube. So just give it a second. And like I said, I haven't seen angel numbers all day. And then I was busy all day. So it's like I wasn't really like, I wasn't really, I was busy. So like my time was occupied, And what I realized as my time was being occupied was like time seemed to be going by extremely like, I don't want to say fast, but time was like really going by fast. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, as I'm not paying attention, it was like, all right, this, and then this, and then this. And then by the time I got home, it was like the lights was out. Like a hard reset. You know what I mean? Like anytime the power goes out around, hey Carrie, anytime that the power goes out around my house or something like that, like randomly or whatever, I always feel like it'd be a reset. Like it'd be some type of like, I can't explain it. I'm not going to go into depth about it because I can't explain what I'm trying to say. It'd be like a hard reset. And what was crazy is, my Wi-Fi. Hold on. Hard reset, right? 7 of Cups, 5 of Cups, the Justice card, and the Empress. So, why do I feel like, I was just on FaceTime with my homegirl, and she just texted me too. It's crazy how you talk about people and they just text you. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So, anywho, anytime, oh shit. That's fucking crazy. The Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. Anywho, and it's funny because I was just telling my homegirl, I was like, I want to tell TikTok something, but I feel like if I tell TikTok gonna be like, I said, I want to tell y'all something, but if I feel like I tell y'all, it's going to sound crazy. And she was like, yeah, because, TikTok, some people on TikTok be addicted to fear. And I was like, yeah, I know. I said, but I really want to tell them because I feel like it's symbolic. So when I tell you this, I don't care about your controversy, okay? I don't care about your opinion. This is not a group ship. This is a dictatorship, okay? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, it's crazy? And she was like, what? I said, I think our weeks are about to start on Saturdays. Saturdays is about to be our new start of the weeks. And she was like, I've been feeling like that too. And I was like, yeah, I've been wanting to say something for a couple of weeks, but I didn't want to sound fucking crazy. And she was like, nah, that don't sound crazy because I think that's what's about to happen. And I definitely feel like that. I feel like Saturdays are going to be our new start to the week. I know it used to be Sunday, but I'm telling y'all, it's Saturday now. And the reason why it's Saturday is because of Saturn. And why that's so important is because Saturn's in Aquarius. And Saturn goes direct on the 23rd. And we're in the age of Aquarius. So weeks are now going to start on a Saturday. It's going to be the weirdest thing because we were talking about how like lately Saturdays have been feeling like Sundays and Sundays been feeling like Saturdays. You see what I'm saying? And if they're going to be the new starts of the week. Okay, so I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Saturdays are going to be our new starts of the week. Are going to be our new starts of the week. Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought I was crazy when I had that, bro. I thought I was crazy when I heard that shit in my head. I was like, I think Saturday's gonna be the new start of the week. And when I heard that shit in my head, I was like, nah. I'm tripping at this point. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, I'm tripping at this point. Like I'm tripping. And I've been feeling like that for a minute because Saturn's been coming up heavy. Y'all know I've been preaching about Saturn. And it's the fact that, okay, so now we can talk a little bit about what's going on in October. So all those events that I talked about, those major astrological events, they're all happening in October. And then I told y'all 10/10 is coming up. Like October is a complete reset. And I do feel like the reset is definitely the fact of that our new weeks are going to be Saturday. So how it used to be Sunday to Saturday, now it's going to be Saturday to Sunday. Or Saturday to Friday, excuse me. So how it used to be, it's going to be Saturday to Friday. So now, like, Sunday is no longer going to be the start of the week. Like, Monday's not going to be the new day. Like, so basically, how Monday used to be a day that we all feel like very sluggish on Mondays after Sunday coming off the weekend. Since Saturday is going to be since Saturday is going to be the new start of the week, that means you're going to rest on Sunday so you can be more refreshed on Monday. Or you're going to end up taking Sunday and Monday off. And you're only going to be like up and at 'em Tuesday through Friday, or Tuesday through something like that. I don't know. I don't know. See the Hermit. Sunday, Monday, you're going to be kicking it. And then Tuesday through Friday, you're going to be moving around. Or Tuesday through Saturday, whatever it is. But all I know is the fact of, like, Saturday is going to be our new start of the week. And energetically, it's going to feel like that. And I don't know. I don't know. And another thing I don't know about is the fact, well, it's not that I don't know. It's the fact that it's just like, I can't put my finger on it just yet. But I be on to shit. So if I just go ahead and get it out now, by the time it happens, we can all come to the conclusion that we talked about it today. So y'all remember how I was talking about okay. So you remember how I was talking about the vaccines and the pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that? So there's a lot of people that took the first vaccine and the second vaccine, and they have, if you want me to be honest with you, if you didn't take the vaccine in a bad wave, okay, like this gonna sound crazy, okay? I told you there were people that took the vaccine in a bad light. So I do feel like if you took the vaccine in the sense of like health reasons and stuff like that, and like where you worked and stuff like that, I do feel like from the time you took the last one until about December, your body's been purging that out in different ways. And if you didn't get the boosters, there was a reason that you didn't get the boosters. I know that sounds crazy, but the vaccines that they're trying to push out now, I would 10 out of 10 not recommend, because of the fact of the pharmaceutical companies are going through a whole rebirth of their lack of integrity, and it's going to affect a lot of things in our like everyday life. Like Johnson & Johnson is over a lot of products that we use. So that's why I was telling a lot of y'all to get like into plant-based like soaps and stuff like that. And you see how there's been like more like natural ways to use deodorant, and there's been like all this like holistic medicine and stuff like that. No, they're coming out with studies right now about the after effects. I know. Oh, I know. That's why some people they've been purging stuff out of their body. Oh, I know. I'm trying to tell you, I know. Y'all remember that dream that I told y'all where I had the dream where somebody was like trying to stick me with something? That's what they wanted me to bring up. Yeah. So a lot of y'all that got it by choice, and a lot of people that I'm trying to tell you, it was about the intent, okay? It was about the intent. It was about the intent. It was about the intent. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't bad. I'm not saying, because I took it. I took the first one and the second one. But I do feel like I was guided to take a certain brand and from a certain place. That's all I'm going to say, okay? And I do feel like my body has been like purging out a lot. Like I've been purging out of a lot, like during my periods, and you know what I'm saying? Like different foods, drinking a lot of water. Like God is like, I need to get like all toxins out of your body. Being in the sun was a big thing that I did. Being in the sun was like all last year and all last year and all this year, all I was doing was being in the sun. I was always in the sun. I was always in the sun. I was always in the sun. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like there has been a lot of like purging out a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And because I mean, like, I'm not going to argue with science, and you know what I'm saying? And I'm also not going to say that people that have their own, like, people that have their own views on it, I'm not going to say that they're wrong. And if you didn't take it, I'm not going to tell you that you don't care about nobody. I'm not going to say that. But it was an intent thing. I'm not going to cap. Like, I do see that now. Like, I see that more and more every day, that it was an intent thing. Because there are people that had the intention of getting the vaccine for the wrong reasons, and they are literally like, okay, that's all I'm going to say. They are going through it, okay? And there are people that took it that are perfectly fine. Thank you, Jesus, that I am covered in the blood. But, like, I think everybody just needs to pay attention to the world right now, because they're going to try to push a lot of things. Oh, you heard the plane? Right. They're going to try to push a lot of things. And there's going to be more. So basically, all that money that I was telling y'all about when I told y'all that y'all need to get renter's insurance and then y'all need to leave those places, there's going to be more information uncovered about where they're using the money. There's going to be more states that are going to go through natural disasters, so Mother Nature can basically put the government between a rock and a hard place. A rock and a hard place. Very much so. Very much so, between a rock and a hard place. I think the biggest thing that we all need to pay attention to is when Saturn goes direct. That is what's going to cause a lot of this uproar, because Saturn has been retrograde to get everybody on a court, just to get everybody's mind kind of, attuned to the right station. They've been trying to get everybody's mind, just attuned, just to be more cautious and be more open and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I told them this whole year, there was going to be a whole thing. Like, I did this whole reading about the weather. It was probably one of the weirdest readings that I did. But I did a whole reading about the weather. Okay? I had got down to the condensation and everything. And I told them that this year and a half, there's going to be big things about the air and the water. And look what the fuck is going on. Okay? They're going to continue to do all these natural disasters to get people to the 23rd, right when Scorpio season happens. So that's why I say everybody really needs to pay attention, because Saturn's been trying to get everything attuned and get everything adjusted, because it's like, I don't want to say it like that. Hold on. I'm trying to get my words out. I think the part that really gets me, really gets me is the way we're being prepared for how things are about to move. They're trying to make it seem like it's less than. And I don't mean to make things sound like they're not as serious or complex as they are, or to be very vague about different situations. But like, these planets have been retrograde to literally slow things down. So the issue that I have behind a lot of this slowing down is a lot of people decided to take the time during this slow period to try to cover up shit, to try to like pull some shit together so like they didn't have to acknowledge the truth, or they tried to like do this, like kind of like play your face and then like do some other shit behind your back. And that to me is kind of stupid, because when Scorpio season gets here, that's all about the higher self. So if that's all about the higher self, and I'm telling y'all, Halloween is going to be something tremendous. Okay. Since that's all about the higher self, it's just like, you don't think people can see the type of spirit you have? Like you don't think people can peep the type of spirit you really have. You know what I'm saying? Like your true like intent behind things. Because like once Saturn goes direct, there's gonna be way more deaths, way more sicknesses, way more people going to jail, way more like it's gonna multiply. It's gonna be like the consequences are gonna come. Oop, see Saturn. You saw that just flew out. Saturn's in Aquarius. This is Aquarius energy. I'm telling you, it's gonna come way quicker. Everything's gonna go. It's gonna hit people like very, very, very like hard. And heavy on the more deaths. Oh, it'll be stationed for a while. All this sneaky shit will be met with this. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it right now. That's why I've been saying, like, you can hear me? Stop. Stop that shit right now. Because October gives me, and I'm telling y'all, the fact that when I came home, the power was out, gave me hard reset. Hard reset. We're not talking about a couple houses. We're talking about an entire neighborhood and an entire block. Hard reset. You know, I just feel like, if you want me to be honest with you, I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience anymore. Like the patience that for people, I don't have it anymore. I don't have the patience. Like we really are trying to get shit. Look, I don't have the patience anymore. 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 I have to just go ahead and tell you everything. It might sound crazy. It might sound like it don't make sense. But I don't have the patience anymore. So like I told y'all, the miscarriages is at a high level. Those karmic children, high level. I'm telling you, it's very high level. Very. Very. I don't have the patience anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, I feel like today was a day to base, like that first live. If you was in my first live, and like I said, I am posting it on YouTube, so y'all can go watch it or whatever, right? But like that first live, that was it. That was the final warning. That was the final. That was the final warning. That was the final foreseeing. Like that was the final prediction. That was the final like newscast, news blast, all that shit. That was the last one. Final. That was it. That was it. That was the last everything. Everything that you think could have possibly been seen to you, shown to you, heard by you, or anything, that was it. That was it. There is no more like, oh, hold on, wait. That's it. The world is about to get extremely wild. Like, at the highest degree. And yes, there are going to be great opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Great opportunities for everybody that, you know, has done the work. So I'm not going to sit here and say, like, the world is going to be crashing. But the amount of karma that has to be dished out, big tickets. People are about to cash big checks. And I don't mean that in a money way. I mean that in a karmic way. Like, it's quick changes. Very quick changes. And it flew in reverse. But that was it. That was it. That was it. That was it. That was all. That was it. That was all. Everybody's all like, that was it. That was all. That's all I keep hearing. That was it. That was all. Saturdays will be the new start of the week. Saturn will be coming down with the hammer on it. Pluto's about to take off on motherfuckers. Jupiter's about to be gifting people things and also expanding people's mindset. See, the issue that a lot of people don't realize is it's not their physical world that's an issue. It's their mind. Excuse me. Thank you. It's their mind. Our minds have been expanded, so that's why we're able to handle the information and handle the physical realm and stuff of that nature, and on all the downloads and the spiritual hits and shit like that. That's the only reason why we're able to have these type of conversations. That's why I always tell people, you don't have the mental capacity to be having this conversation with me. The fact that people come up in here saying weird shit, you don't even have the mental capacity to understand what the fuck we're talking about. So why would we get upset? You don't even have the mental space to gather all the information of what we're discussing. Hence how the information goes straight over your head. That's what, if you want me to be fairly honest with you, like of what y'all been going through when Pluto is in retrograde, if Pluto is the one of the deep wounds, Chiron is the wounded healer. You've been healing because your mind has been expanding. To see things from a higher perspective, your mind has to be at the capacity to hold the information that is given to you. If your mind didn't have the mental capacity to hold all the information that I give you, you wouldn't be on my live. You wouldn't follow me because you wouldn't even care. You just keep scrolling because you would be like, what the fuck is she talking about? Because you don't have the mental capacity to understand or even to listen to learn what's going on. It's not that you guys already know what I'm talking about. It's because you're learning, and you're only learning because you now have the mental capacity to receive the information, to continue to process it out. If you want me to be fairly honest with you, that's what's been going on. Like, you have the mental capacity now. People don't have the mental capacity. They don't have it. They don't have the mental capacity to hear, to process, to listen. That's why when I'm talking, all this shit be like literally, I sit down, I hit record. I don't have no notes. I don't have shit. That's how I be remembering shit and Googling shit and da-da-da-da-da. Because I have a huge mental capacity to hold all the downloads, to tell you the secrets. You see what I'm saying? Like, my mind is just full of fucking words, and I can just put them all together. You have the mental capacity to hear my downloads, dissect my downloads, and apply it to your life. You have that mental capacity. People don't have that. Eventually, they'll gather it on their own time. On their own time. People don't have the mental capacity. So it's not that people's physical worlds are like going to just go haywire. Their mental capacity is about to be challenged to a level that they've never had before. And since their mental capacity is about to be challenged to a level that they have never had before, when somebody's mind is in the right place, that's normally how their whole world crumbles. I mean, it's not funny, but it's quite serious because it does happen that way. When people are depressed and people are mentally not there, everything in their whole world goes haywire. They lose it. They can't function, they can't work, they can't love, they can't do nothing because their mind is not in the right place. That's why that was the final warning. Because people thought that shit was a game. You know, your mind is one of the most powerful things that you have out of your entire body is your mind. That's why I don't let people play with me. Because you trying to insult my intelligence. I don't like that. And I'm extremely intelligent. Like, I don't care to throw my intelligence around. It's not that fucking serious. I take hold of it. I appreciate God for the gift, and I go about my day. But your mind is one of the most powerful things. Once I know that I can mind control somebody, you're eating in the palm of my hands. That's why I don't use my gift for evil, because I can mind fuck anybody. And I don't think you should do that to people. But people been trying to mind fuck people. And that's what's crazy, because that's why everybody's crown chakra has had to be covered, because the devilish energy was really trying to corrupt people's mind. If you ever feel like somebody's doing magic on you and you truly believe that they're doing magic on you, you're weak-spirited. I told y'all, it was a gang of motherfuckers throwing energy on me. That's why I couldn't do nothing but pray. It was so many people. It wasn't one. It was multiple. And I still told y'all, you couldn't fuck with me. You can't break me. You can't do nothing. I knew you was trying to play on my mind. That's why I said my mind playing tricks on me. That's why I ain't tripped. That's why I ain't budge. I went through it. I prayed through it. And I went about my motherfucking day. As we all should. That's why I'm telling y'all, people about to lose their shit. People are about to lose their shit. They can't fathom to process the downloads, the emotions outside people, inside their head. They can't do it. They can't do it. People can't think that far ahead. They can't think. They don't have the mental capacity. That's why it's not even about, looking at people down on people. People are real life like idiots. Like, I don't even, you know what I'm saying? I know I could be very harsh with my words and shit like that, but like, people are really like slow, like for real. And they try to play like they smart and they really not. Like I'm trying to tell y'all, like, women that finesse men are slow. Hey, Naya. Women that finesse men for money, they're slow. They're not that girl. Men that have narcissistic ways and they're manipulative and they're weirdos and stuff like that, they're not that smart. They really aren't. Because if you truly have the mental capacity to think and to control somebody's mind, like, you do realize that the number one reason why narcissists and like people that have that energy can prey on people is because they prey on your emotions of how much you actually love them. They would never do that to people that they know don't care about them, because they know they're not that smart. That's why when a person that a narcissist loves them, when that person gets over the love, that's why they crumble. That's why they start doing things of like, oh, I love you, and like love bombing and gaslighting and all that shit, because like they're not that smart. They're not that smart. I promise y'all, I'm not even trying to be funny. People are not as smart as they think they are. People are not as smart as they seem. They're not that smart. I don't care how much fraud they do. I don't care how much, they're not that smart. From now until 2025, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, God, because it's not funny. I'm sorry. The people not that smart. Like, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. And that's why I don't let nobody put no fear in my heart, because in reality, you're not smart. You're an idiot. Like, you're not that smart. Because if you was that smart, you wouldn't even think like that. You wouldn't do that. Because the only reason why they treat you that way and they act that way is because they feel that way about themselves. So if you treat me like that and you act like that, it's because you already feel that you're an idiot. Right? You're not that smart. Now that's a puzzle for the mind, huh? They're not that smart. And you know what's even funnier, bro? You know what's even fucking funnier? Let me tell y'all what's even funnier. Yeah, what's your question? You know what's even funnier? A lot of y'all have learned so much from me so far, and you're going to learn even more, and you're going to utilize the information that I give you and apply it to your life, that you're going to have this mental note, and you're going to have this inner feeling when you deal with people, and people are not going to fuck with you no more, because they know that you know that they know that you know that they're not smart. And it's going to make you laugh. A lot of you guys are going to get over, like, that's why I told y'all need to stop worried about y'all, like earlier I told y'all, what y'all need to release is a fear of what people think. You don't need to care what they think. They're not smart. They're not smart at all. They're not smart. I don't give a fuck. All you... No. You could have answered that your damn self. Like, you're not that smart. You're not that smart. You're not that intelligent. You're not built like that. You're not really like that. Like, I don't care how many degrees that people get. They're not smart. Oh, I didn't feel disrespected. You disrespecting yourself. You know what I'm saying? That was disrespecting yourself. You wouldn't disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? That was disrespecting yourself. You know, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I love you. You know what I'm saying? You good. But I just want y'all to understand that that's where we're at in this world right now. People are about to just... You're just not going to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just not going to worry about it because they're not that smart. They're just not. And because we're in this world, we're in the age of Aquarius, where knowledge is power, and where we're always trying to learn. It makes you not feel stupid for not knowing something. You know what I mean? You coming to me and you learning all these things. I don't feel dumb telling you. I don't feel dumb teaching you. I don't feel dumb when you're asking me about astrology. I don't feel dumb when you come to me for a reading. I don't feel like you're dumb for that. Because you see how you're trying to gather knowledge. You see what I'm saying? This is a time where if you don't know and that's not your level of expertise, ask. Ask. This would be the time to do it. Because y'all honestly have been learning from people that are not that smart. They're not smart at all. God, Jesus Christ. That's why I couldn't learn it from nobody. That's why I couldn't listen to nobody. I couldn't do it because you are an idiot. And I'm listening to you, and due to my gift, I'm not going to cap. Due to my gift, that's why I don't feel like I know everything. I don't know everything. I'm not perfect. I'm not Bill Nye the motherfucking science guy. I just have a good intuition. And that's a gift. But I'm not going to say I know everything. That's why I Google it. If I tell y'all, I'd be on camera with y'all like, hold on, what that mean? I follow the clues that are given to me to do the research. I don't know everything. You know what I mean? I don't want to never know everything. I constantly want to learn. But what I'm saying is, this is a season now where you are going to want to learn. You are going to want to know. And there are people out here that have been trying to have a superior attitude. They've been trying to have a superior mindset. And they are idiots. They lack the knowledge of logic. There's a lack of knowledge of logic, logical thinking, resolution thinking. People lack that knowledge of logic. Now, I know logical thinking is a word, but they lack knowledge of logic. Yeah, we can always say, oh, you should be logically thinking. Yes, but I'm telling y'all, pay attention, because it's going to start now where you're going to realize you lack the knowledge of logic. And it's going to be just like that. It's not that they don't sound knowledgeable. They just lack the knowledge of logic. No, not street logic, just logic, period. Logic. Because people don't, they think with emotion, they think with ego with logic. Logic wins over ego. Logic may not win over the heart at times, but logic wins over ego. Every time. Every time. Sometimes you have to make a heart over head. You know what I mean? But logic always wins over ego. Always. I don't give a fuck what it is. If you have an egotistic mindset, you have an egotistic answer, whoever's going to say the logical thing about it, that will be the correct thing. Ego never can win over logic. And since we've all gone through the death of the ego, that the emperor keeps popping out, since we've all gone through the death, well, not all of us, I'm so sorry. Those that resonate with me on my energy level and when I talk and I speak and they've gone through these changes, since we've all released the ego energy, then you understand that logic over ego. So when somebody is doing things to taunt you and do all this logically, it makes sense to let them go be dumb on their own. Your ego response would be to fuck them up. Now, another example. If somebody hits you, the logic part of it is to hit their ass back. The ego would be like, well, I don't know. I don't want to start nothing, but, then again, I'm big and bad and I don't know. No, the logic thing would be to fuck them up. Okay? That's when I'm telling you to do logic over ego. It's all scenario based. People lack the knowledge of logic. I'm trying to tell you. That's why people are making decisions out of their ego. When people run to their body to be when people run to their body as the first answer to succeed in life, or for them to provide for themselves, they're not thinking logic over ego. They're thinking ego over logic. Because the first thing you would think is to use your body to make fast cash. Or you could put yourself in a position to where God can give you the answers to the download. Because I know God didn't tell you to go sell that. I know God didn't tell you to go sell that. I know he didn't. See, 7 of Wands, you're on guard. I know God didn't tell you that. But hey, if you felt like he told you, cool. See, 7 of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles keeps coming up because she's fertile. She births ideas. She's stable. If you use logic over ego, this goes to this. She stays here. This goes to this. Oh, shit. This goes here. She stays here. You lock in here. You get the downloads here. And what does that do? Turn the wheel here. And then you're here. All feminine energy. You birth something. You collab. Get downloads. Wheel starts turning. Boom. Logic. Queen of Swords. The logic comes. Once the logic comes, you can cut through it. Then, ba-da-doom, you get to the King of Wands, which will be your masculine energy to now go get what you need to go do. Put in the action that you would need to go do. Y'all get it? That makes sense? That makes sense? I hope that makes sense. That makes sense? Okay, great. Because that's what you're going to have to learn how to process to do at this time. There isn't going to be any, all that ego over logic thinking is going to put you in a very deadly place. I just want to let you know. Because, see, they've been letting y'all slide because of Saturn being in retrograde. They've been letting you guys slide. Let me look and see what planets are in retrograde right now. Hold on. Okay, so right now, Mercury's in retrograde, Jupiter's in retrograde, Saturn's in retrograde, Uranus is in retrograde, Neptune's in retrograde, Pluto's in retrograde, and Chiron's in retrograde. Okay. Pluto comes on. Pluto goes direct next week. Saturn goes direct in 2-3 weeks. Jupiter. Let me see. Hold on. When does Jupiter? All right, so Jupiter goes direct on November 23rd, which November 23rd would be Sagittarius season. So I told you the opportunities are going to be phenomenal in Sagittarius season. Jupiter is ran by Sagittarius. In Sagittarius season, Jupiter will be direct and it will be in Aries. No, it'll be in Aries. It'll go back into Aries, I think, that week or the week before. I don't know. That doesn't matter now. We'll get to that point when we get there. But do you see what I'm saying? It's going direct then. So from the time of Scorpio season to the time of Sagittarius season, don't you think it'd be best for your spirit to stay pure? Okay, here we go. And then one of the other big things that we need to pay attention to is Uranus. Uranus is ruled by Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius. Uranus is in Taurus right now. Uranus is coming around knocking shit over of what would Jesus do? And if Jesus wouldn't do that, Uranus is going to completely throw it off. I mean, completely knock it over. So Pluto's going direct, Saturn's going direct, while Uranus and Jupiter will still be in retrograde. And Mercury will go direct, but that's really not a bigger concern right now. They said, yes, it is. Okay, sorry. Mercury going direct too. So Mercury's going to be going direct, Pluto's going to be going direct, Saturn's going to be going direct, and then those planets are going direct as Uranus, Neptune, Chiron will still be in retrograde. So, Jupiter is still going to be in retrograde, meaning that it's still slowed down. So, meaning that the expansion is still kind of moving at a slow pace. So, not too quickly, not too hasty. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all, people's mental capacity is about to go to a whole nother level. Because between the time that Saturn goes direct and Jupiter go direct, people's going to be very mentally unstable. Scorpio season is going to show you people's they're going to be mentally unstable. You're going to see how mentally unstable they are, and it's not going to be how I told y'all when Mercury went retrograde, because I know y'all saw how people was mentally ill, but fuck them being mentally ill. They're going to now show you how mentally unstable they are. Like seriously, they're going to show you how mentally unstable they are all Scorpio season, because Mercury will be in Scorpio. The sun will be in Scorpio. Venus will be in Scorpio. All that Scorpio energy of rebirth, and Pluto, the fact that Pluto is going direct on the 23rd, the first day into Scorpio season, the energy is going to be so intense. It's going to be fucking crazy. So I'm just letting y'all know now. People are going to show you how mentally unstable they are. But their mental instability comes from their weak spirit. They have a very weak spirit. Look. The Queen of Pentacles came out in reverse. Mentally unstable. Five of Wands. Hold on. Wait a minute. I want to get specific words. Hold on. Five of Wands, conflict, disagreements, competition, tension, diversity. In the Five of Wands, 5 men appear to be fighting each other, using their wands as weapons. However, on a closer observation, their wands are raised but not striking or injuring anyone. It is as if there is no real purpose or outcome in the chaotic scene other than to create conflict and sow discord amongst the group. Each man wears a different outfit, symbolizing their diverse backgrounds and belief systems, and suggesting that because of their differences, they can't find harmony and common ground with one another. Mentally unstable. That is a mentally unstable person. That's a description of a mentally unstable person. Hold on. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse says, when the Queen of Pentacles is upright, you are focused on nurturing and providing for others. When reversed, you're turning that caring energy to yourself. You're creating financial independence by perhaps working for yourself, starting your own business, and supporting others. You may still be in a partnership, but can keen to ensure that you can sustain your own lifestyle now and in the future by yourself. You may have to have a separate saving account or a long-term investment plan to ensure that you can take care of yourself. It says, hold on. At times, the reverse Queen of Pentacles can reveal that your work or home life are out of balance and you're putting too much of your attention in one area to determine the other. On the other hand, you may be consumed by your job, spending long hours at work, traveling for business, or bringing work from home. On the other hand, your home or family life may be taken over and you're unable to give your attention to work. It says similarly, an introverted Queen of Pentacles can point to an inner conflict when it comes to balancing work and personal priorities. Mentally unstable. To show you how mentally unstable they are. Yeah. The mental stability. And you know, Scorpio, look, Jesus Christ. This is how fast this shit coming. This is how fast this shit is coming. This is a new perspective. But see, this is what I meant when I told y'all that Saturn is knocking people over so they can receive the mental capacity to be able to move forward in life. That's how fast it's going to knock the shit out of them. Just, because to be mentally unstable, if you want me to be honest with you, to be mentally unstable is probably borderline, not even borderline. It's completely and wholeheartedly a death sentence. It is. Mental unstableness, it affects how you work. It affects everything. You know, one thing that I used to tell people when I was going through shit, I used to be like, bro, like, look, I'm not mentally stable. Like, you know what I'm saying? I honestly can tell people when I'm not mentally stable. And when I'm not mentally stable, I don't like to be around people. See, that is the thing. People are mentally unstable and they don't have the mental capacity to work on it themselves. So they've been distracting themselves so they didn't have to work on this. You see what I'm saying? That's why the last 5 months, it's like, why have y'all been fucking with people? The people that y'all been fucking with people that have been trying to gain mental stability to handle everything. Like, you do realize that the only reason why people go through a healing and go through a rebirth is because now they have the mental stability to handle the wealth, the success, the fame, now that they have that. You do realize that, right? People that are mentally unstable do things like off people, steal, lie. You're mentally unstable. And people have decided to make a new meaning for mental instability. Like, what? That is somebody that's mentally unstable. What the fuck? A mental disorder characterized by unstable moods, behaviors, and relationships. The cause of borderline personality disorder isn't well understood. What does it mean to be mentally unstable? An inability to cope with problems or daily activities, feeling of disconnection or withdrawal from normal activities, unusual or magical thinking, excessive anxiety, prolonged sadness, depression, or apathy. What are the signs of somebody that's mentally unstable? Listen to this and tell me if it just don't describe some of the people in your life right now. Feeling sad or down, confused thinking or reduced ability to concentrate, excessive fears or worries or extreme feelings of guilt. Extreme mood changes of highs and lows, withdrawal from friends and activities, significant tiredness, low energy, and problems sleeping. Because, this going to sound crazy, but people that have a lot of mental instability, they normally are up at night a lot. They normally work overnight, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to pay attention to people that work overnight that don't sleep, that sleep during the day a lot. You got to pay attention to that. Not everybody, but some people dead ass do that. Some people run from their problems, so they work at night, because at nighttime, they're running from that. So is that you? Oh, no, baby. If I'm up, it's because God kept me up. I goes to sleep. You better ask about me. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I go to sleep. Okay, I go to sleep. Somebody asked a question about, because you'll snap on them. No, I don't like to bring people in that company. What do you think of therapy? I think therapy is really good. I think what you call is really good. I think therapy is really good for people, but there are people that literally will like avoid the nighttime. So just pay attention to that, especially over the next like 3 months. Just pay attention to how people are moving. A lot of people's mental instability, they are, unfortunately, like, when they have the time to do it alone, they avoided it. So God is going to make them, and it's not to embarrass them, but God is going to literally make people have to go through life trying to get their mental correctly when they should have been able to do it alone. But they didn't want to. So now they're going to make them like have to balance out work, just as the Queen of Pentacles said. You have to balance out work, family, and all that shit, because you didn't want to do that. No, I say therapy's good. A lot of people are not going to be able to, they're going to try. I'm telling y'all, all them people that's going to be like, oh my God, I just had to take a break and focus on myself. You did? What happened? You did? What happened? It's not funny. I'm so sorry, but I think that shit is hilarious, because it's just like, why did you decide to put your ego so ahead of your mind? You only get one mind in this lifetime. You only get one soul in this lifetime. Why do you feel the need to ignore it? Scorpio season is going to show y'all that a lot of people ignore their soul. They ignore the shit out their soul. And that's probably one of the most scariest things during this time, because with the North Node being in Taurus and COVID had been our wake up for the soul, y'all are about to see how many people ignore their soul. Remember I told you that's probably one of the most scariest things. It's scary to me that what people choose. They chose that shit. That's scary. That's scary as fuck. So that's the direction you chose to go. So there wasn't like no other option. Like, you didn't want to take another path. Like, you didn't want to think about it any differently. Like, you didn't want to talk to God first. That's one thing I got to say I fuck with my homegirls about. We all say the same thing to people. We be like, did you ask God first before you did that? And people really don't. And if they be like, yeah, I asked. Okay, so when you asked, did you wait for an answer? Because you asked, and then you just decided to act. You didn't ask and receive. You decided to ask and act. And that, to me, scares me. That scares me. Because that shows that you have no type of guidance. That shows that you don't have an intuition that you follow. That shows that the mental compass that you have, you neglect it. That's scary. That's scary. That is 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 scary. Look, you have an intuition and a mental compass that you neglect. So you put yourself in the cold. You put yourself through burdens. You choose to do that. That's why people, people always say they fighting demons. Oh, you fighting demons, all right. You fighting them demons you created. You fighting demons. You fighting demons, all right. Look, Six of Pentacles. You fighting demons, all right. You fighting the demons you created. You have to pay back the devil. That debt is bad. That debt is bad. The debt you have to pay the devil is bad. It's bad. He don't care. He don't care what he take from you. That's why I'm trying to tell you. He's going to affect people's mind. That's the only way he can actually even take control over you, is to fuck with your mind. That's why the crime rate is about to go up. Go get you a blicky in case shit gets sticky. Stop being Miss Independent. Stop. Submit to yourself. Submit to God. And it don't always have to be no man, but at the same time, at least you'll pay attention to when God is trying to keep you away from things. You know how many people over Mercury retrograde heard from a voice in their head to say not go to work, not to do this, not to go there, not to contact this person, not to do this, and they did it anyway? And something happened to them. Something happened to them. Do you know how many people that shit happened to? Do you? Stop. When Pluto goes direct, stop. When we get into Scorpio season, stop. Listen. I told y'all, God is even trying to save you from yourself. Save you from yourself. If he trying to get other people, or he trying to lay the law on other people, it's not a game. I don't need to joke. I know I laugh a lot, but this is not a game. I don't know. I'm still waiting on the first one to be posted on YouTube, honestly. What did I say? 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 Stop. I'm just saying. Don't say I didn't tell y'all. Look, 4 cups. Don't say I didn't tell y'all. How much did I miss? I've been on 1 hour and 14 minutes. Stand your ground. Go get you a blicky in case shit gets sticky. Financial and material changes. Financial and material changes. Mental instability. People that are mentally unstable can't make money. They can't keep money. They can't keep safety. They can't keep stability. They can't keep it. They can't keep it. It falls through their fingers because they're not mentally able to handle it. Look, trapped in fear. What do we just say about the fear thing of the Five of Wands? Didn't it say something about fear and the crap? Patience and planning and obstacles and challenges and transformation. Well, that'll do it. You do not have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me. People are addicted to fear because they're mentally unstable. They're mentally unstable. Look, ooh. Damn. And look what card, oh shit. And look what card flew out. Because they are mentally unstable. Oh, shit. That's crazy. Oh, the patience. Oh. Today drained me. Because, you know, it's just, I just feel like it's not even like, it's to the point now where it's just like, damn, like this shit is not, like this shit really happening. Like it's really happening. Like it's really happening. This is like, it's really happening. That's why it's like, people having babies, are you mentally stable to have a child? You're crazy. You're crazy. You do not have the mental capacity to have no fucking baby right now. But hey, and with mental instability become, you know, the biggest thing with people that are mentally unstable, they can't fucking communicate. Mercury has been extremely important. Mercury has been talking to Mars. So if Mercury's been talking to Mars, Mercury's been trying to get you to listen, think, and speak. Action. Mars is a planet of action, assertiveness, and sex. If Mercury is talking to Mars and your thoughts are mentally unstable, you are doing anything. You are fucking anybody. You're doing crazy shit. Is that, y'all see how that adds up? That's why Mercury has been in Libra and Virgo back and forth. So it was in Libra for you to logically think. Then it was in Virgo for you to truly think for yourself. And you still failed. There's so many babies that was conceived at the end of Virgo season and going to be conceived in Libra season that are with the wrong people. Wrong people. Halls of learning. Yeah. Great lesson. And hold on, what these is. Important information, wounds are healed. This is Pluto. And the divine matrix. Interconnectedness. People have accepted jobs. People have signed up for different seminars. People have taken out like grants and all them like business money and shit like that the government's giving, and they didn't know the right verbiage. You know, I seen an episode of Zatima on BET, and it was the episode where that white lady had tried to frame him to make him sleep with her, and he didn't want to do it. And she ended up being one of the senator's wife. And when Fatima found out, she basically blackmailed her. And when she blackmailed her, she had gave him information about a stock, and he invested in that stock, and then he took off or whatever. And so when he took off, the SEC had came to excuse me, thank you. The SEC came to interview him. And when the SEC came to interview him, he had to have all these answers to these questions to prove basically like he ain't do no fraud. But see, he had the information, but he still did the fraud. There's a lot of people that have done things and they're going to do things and they don't know the right verbiage, information. They don't know. And it's going to get you into something. The same way that with these children and these relationships that's happened. A lot of people didn't pay attention to the knowledge of logic when people were talking, and they're going to get themselves bamboozled into something. You know, one of the shows that comes to mind when I think of this energy is 90 Day Fiancé. 90 Day Fiancé is what I mean. That's a prime example of that. 90 Day Fiancé is a prime example of that. Them people, and I'm not saying every couple, but majority of them couple, and my right ear just started ringing. Majority of those fucking couples are a business transaction. You weren't logically thinking to what they were saying and what they were doing. You literally fund this person all this money, and you think they're supposed to like all of a sudden just do it for love. You're an idiot, okay? You're an idiot. And that show right now is coming to mind. And specifically, Michael and Angela. You know how she married him from Nigeria or whatever, and she thinking that that man does not love her. And she knows he doesn't love her. She has bought that man phone, sent him money. He's Nigerian. You think they don't think to work? You don't think they think to provide? And you're an old white woman providing for a Nigerian. Okay. Okay. Whatever. That comes to mind when I think of that, because that's exactly what's happening to people. A lot of people, exactly, to take his Instagram down. Okay. Nigerians think to make money to invest back in their country or get out of the country. Stop being stupid. Oh my God, I remember that too. So then I just feel like there's a lot of relationships that people got into and they lack communication. There's a lot of people, partnerships, businessships, the communication was off. So people have agreed to things that they didn't truly ask the right questions. They didn't truly get into depths with things. Like a lot of people are going to sign contracts and stuff like that, and it's going to have them fucked up. And unfortunately, due to your lack of reading and stuff like that, you kind of got yourself into that because you should have read it specifically and you should have asked the right questions. So that's another thing of why I've been trying to tell people, like, you need to get into financial literacy, because when you do get these opportunities of money, a lot of y'all don't know how to handle it. So you would hire a financial advisor, or you would have a CPA, or you would have a law like attorney or something like that. You don't even know the right questions to ask them, so you don't pick the wrong person. Communication is probably going to be a really big thing between now and Sagittarius season. A lot of people are going to have to learn how to communicate in different ways. Communication is going to be a huge problem. If a man says he doesn't want a baby the first time, what makes you think he wants it now? People are going to want to hear what they want to hear. They're going to change the words to say what they want them to say. If he said he didn't want to get married now, what you think changed his mind? If she said that she didn't want kids, what makes you think that she changed her mind? The communication it's going to be off. And it's funny because we were in Mercury retrograde, and I felt like Mercury retrograde was way more clear. This Mercury retrograde, for some reason, like, it was crystal clear. But I feel like we're about to go through a whole season of like how Mercury retrograde normally is, but when it's not in retrograde. We're going to go through a Mercury retrograde indirect season. People are going to literally switch the words to what they want them to say. They're going to switch the words for what they want to hear. In Libra season, they're going to do that real bad. Real bad. Because Mercury is going to go back into Libra in a couple of days, I think. And when Mercury goes back into Libra, it goes back into that charming energy. It goes back into that finesse game energy. And I told y'all, Libra's a lie. Libras lie. Like, they be lying. They lie for no fucking reason. So that's... Just watch out for that shit. Just watch out for that shit. You know, y'all say the men, but I think it's women. The Libra women lie. They lie real bad. Libra women lie so bad. See? Libra women lie real bad. So, pay attention to that. They lie so bad. So, communication gonna be real off. Real off. So pay attention to that. You know one thing I want y'all to do? When Mercury was in Virgo, I told people to watch what people said, not how they said it. Watch what they said. For you to survive this season of Mercury energy, thank you. Listen to what they said, not how they said it. Listen to what they said. Remember, just remember that. I just want everybody to remember that. I need everybody to remember that. Ooh, I gotta call y'all back. All right. I'm gonna call y'all back. I'm gonna call y'all tomorrow. Okay, we can do this all over again tomorrow, okay? Because tomorrow's the new Monday. Tomorrow's the new Monday. I will try to get this posted on YouTube by in the morning if I don't get it done by tonight. Okay? I hop on whenever, but I normally be on live at nighttime. Y'all so fucking aggravating talking about I miss blushing like that. Who y'all think I'm blushing at? Because it ain't nobody. I be blushing because of me. I'm in love with myself. Real bad. Real bad. I'm obsessed with myself. But yeah. Oh yeah. So the personal astro glitters are on sale from now until Scorpio season. And personal astro glitters is when we basically talk about how the astrological world is going to affect you during that season. So pay attention to that. Don't forget to subscribe to my texting app because we're going to have another private Zoom session on 10/10. So we are going to have another private Zoom session on 10/10. So make sure you subscribe to that. And subscribe to my YouTube. Because that's going to be big. And I actually kind of like the little private ones. They're actually really fun. You're welcome. I don't really think I have any other downloads to give y'all right now. I think that's about it. Because I also did a live earlier. And that's on YouTube. Or it should be on YouTube soon. I don't know. It's taking a minute. But yeah. Love you. I'll see y'all tomorrow.